Hello, welcome to today's video. My name is Olanirojan. In today's video, we are going to be designing a flyer, for a training event. So now let's jump into the brief first and let's dissect the brief together before we proceed to create a masterpiece. Okay, so just watch me closely. Now, I have my brief here. And what does the brief say about the design? We have our YouTube for Content Creator Training Program. Date May 10, 2023. Then the time is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. EST. So we can just, since we're in Southwest, I said Southwest, sorry, I'm in Southwest. Since we are in Africa, let's just use WAT, okay? So now let's read everything we have here. Are you a content creator who want to grow your audience and expand your reach? Then this YouTube program is perfect for you. Our comprehensive program will cover everything you need to know to create engaging and successful videos on YouTube, from optimizing your channel to increasing engagement. So during this training program, you will learn how to create and optimize your YouTube channel, strategies for creating engaging and shareable video content, best practice for promoting your videos and growing your audience, then tips for monetizing your video channels and generating revenue. Then plus you also have opportunity to ask questions and receive personalized feedback on your content from our trainer. Don't miss out this opportunity to take your YouTube content to the next level. Register now and join us on May 10th, 2023 at 10 a.m. To register, please visit our website. We look forward to seeing you there. So this is the information about the program, and we are to create a flyer for them, just a simple flyer. And let's begin to dissect the brief now. What are the important things? Remember, a flyer is meant to be what? Visually engaging, and it has to captivate the audience to read more about the program. Okay? It means that all the informations we have here, it is not possible for us to have it on a flyer, right? So that's the reason why we are going to be picking out the most important thing here. Do you get it now? All the content we have here, we want to turn it to visual. But now we are going to have a different means of communicating these visuals now. Do you get it now? So now let's dissect this brief. Looking at this brief, what do we see as the most important thing? One, the training program, which is what? YouTube for content creators. So that's going to be the key message of the design. Okay, the key message of this design is what? YouTube for content creators. So you can just take note of that. Now, the date and time is also important. So take note of that. Why? During the training program, you will learn the following. These are going to serve as the what? At the sub message of the design. Okay, the YouTube for content creator is going to serve as the what? As the main message. Do you get it now? So why during this program you will learn what? How to create and optimize all this content. Now we're going to serve as the what? As the sub message for the design. So looking at that, this one is important. This is actually important. Date and time is important. Now we need to have a CTA, which is to what? To register. So to register now, you need to what? Visit our website. So we are going to just provide. Remember, this is just a capstone project. Okay, this is just a capstone what project. So we are going to insert a website link ourselves or a contact details. Now we look forward to seeing you there. So this is the brief now, and we have been able to what? To dissect. So now let's just copy the content we are going to need now. So the one we are going to need is what? So can you see I want to just break it down here? YouTube for content creators and the main message. We can now decide to have training program if we wish, but let's assume YouTube for content creators is going to be our what? Our main message. Okay, so now we are going to have this also. So we are going to have what? We are going to have this. And this one we can now decide to what? To list it one after the other. So we can say Q&A section. Okay? So we can just leave it as question and answer section. Okay, question and answer section. Okay, section rather. So now we're going to have our date and time. We're going to have our dates and the what and time. Okay, then we're going to have the what, the CTA, the call to action. Okay, now what type of flyer do you think we are creating now? Okay, we are creating a what, a promotional flyer. We are creating a promotional flyer. We need to promote this event. Do you get it now? So now we are creating a promotional flyer, but what is going to be the size of this flyer now? A flyer like this is meant to be a what? A webinar. Do you get it now? It's going to promote a what? A training program. And this program is going to be held online, right? So that means that the number one thing we are going to be needing now is a promotional flyer that can be shared at what? Across social media platforms. And what are the standard sizes of flyers that can be shared across social media platforms? Okay, now that's where we can now have a what? A social media design size. Okay, and what's the social media design size? Is going to be in a square shape. So you can now decide to have 800 pixel by 800 pixel or 1000 hits by 1000 what? 8 pixel. So what we are creating now is a promotional flyer, but the size you are using is going to be a social media what? Design. Why are we using social media design? Because this is meant to be an online what? Webinar, and this promotional flyer will be shared across what? Social media platforms, and all the social media platforms will have actually accept this what? This size. Do you get it now? So now we can now go straight to our software and start creating something. And before you go straight to your software, you need to have a mental sketch of what you want to design. Already now I have a mental sketch of what I want to design, and you can also design to sketch on a piece of paper. Do you get it now? So anyone you feel what convenient with it. So for this particular one now, I'm going to be following what I have on my head, just a mental sketch of what we're going to create. So and we're going to be doing it together. Just watch me closely now. Let's get started. So now we're going to be using our software, which is what? Adobe Illustrator. Then you come to File, New, okay, 800 by 800. Then we can just write YouTube flyer here. YouTube flyer, okay. Then create. It's loading. It's loading. Okay, so let's give it time for it to load. So it's actually loading right away. It's loading right now. Okay, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. So you need to take note of what we want to create. We want to create a promotional flyer with a social media design what size. Why? Because will be promoting this program only on social medias, and social media accept this what? This file, um this design size. Do you get it now? So now we have our empty what? Our empty artboard and pasteboard area to create our masterpiece. So I'm going to be importing the element I'm going to use in this design. Okay. I'm going to importing some element I'm going to use in this design. So I have this. I have this. Then let me just go to download. Let me go to download folder. Okay. Download. Then I have this. And I have this. So I'm going to drag in now to my what? To my pasteboard area. So just look at it now. I have three elements here. So this is going to serve as a color palette, as a guide for the color palette I'm going to be using in this project. This will serve as a what? As a color palette. So this is a screenshot of a social media page. Remember, this is just a capstone project, but yet we have to make sure is what is visually appealing. So that's the reason why. And the training is all about YouTube. And I see that someone that can have 2.4 million subscribers, okay, will definitely be a fit person to what to organize this kind of webinar. So that's the reason why I have the screenshot of this message here. And don't worry, we're going to get to a point where we're going to use it, and you see exactly what we are going to do with it. So take note, disclaimer here. Think Media. Okay, this particular screenshot belongs to what Think Media, and they don't have any affiliation with this training. Do you get my point now? And because it's just a capstone project, that's the reason why I'm using this. And it's just majorly for what? For educational purpose, and nothing else. It's just for what? For educational purpose. So I have to put that disclaimer there. Do you get it now? So now let's proceed. So we have our empty artboard area. We have our pasteboard. I've pasted all the elements I'm going to use for this design now. So now let's get started and create a masterpiece out of this. I'm going to I wish I'm going to leave just a plain background, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a plain background. Then I need to have my margin. Then I'll use this opportunity to explain something also. Okay, so I'm going to have my margin. I'm going to set my margin. So let's set it here. Good. So I'm going to have equal margin. I'm going to have what? Equal margin. So good. Okay, I think it's okay this way. So let me unlock the guide and move this to here. Move this to this what? To this area. Okay, good. So we have this now. I'm going to lock my guide. So this is going to serve as my what? As my margin, just to guide me through on what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a play background. I'm going to have a play background, and this one is going to serve as my focal point for the design. And now let me just import my text. Okay. When we need it, we'll be importing the text from this area. So basically, this is what we have. This empty artboard we have. Now let me create my image now. Where I'm going to have the image. Okay, so I'm going to drag this here. Then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to increase the size. Don't worry, I will reduce the size to fit in. Just watch me closely how I'm going to do the design now. So this is what I intend to do now. I want to make the hand holding this phone as the focal point of this flyer. But this phone screen is going to contain these screenshots. Okay, this phone screen is going to contain what? This screenshot. So I have to max this screenshot into this phone screen. So just watch me closely how I'm going to do that. Okay, you get it now. So just watch me closely how I'll be able to do that. So now we have this phone now. I'm going to use my conversion tool. Okay, so I'm going to use my pen tool to create the area. Then my conversion to get a curve later. So I have it here. I have this here. I have this here. Then I have this. So can you see now? Then I'll zoom in and I'll click on my conversion tool. Okay. I'll add a tag point there so that I can create a curve for these edges here. So can you see? Good. So this one also I'll move it so that I can have that what? That edge is completely there. So this area is perfect, but I need to move this down. Okay, good. So can you see now? Can you see what I'm doing now? Good. So I need to add another anchor point here and create a curve for this area. Then move this. Good. So basically now I have my shape. So I'm going to click on this now. Good. I'm going to lock these elements so that it won't disturb what I'm doing. So can you see my shape now? Okay, it doesn't have a fill color, so I'm going to give it a fill color now using my pen tool just to eyedrop color there. Okay, my eyedropper tool rather, not pen tool, eyedrop. Okay, so now this is what I have now. So I'm going to mark this screenshot now into this so that we can replace it with the what? With the phone screen. So can you see now? So I'm going to reduce the size of these now. I'm going to reduce the size. Good. So fit into what we have here. So just watch me closely now. So I think we have something like this now. Let me group it together so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm still going to increase the size. Okay. I need to hold on my shift. So basically now we have this. Then we have what? We have this. So looking at it now, if there's any adjustment, I'm going to do that. Now I'll just highlight the two elements together. Then I'll click on what? Make a clip mask. So this is exactly what I want to have here. This is exactly what I want to have here. Okay. So that's the best we can do for here. And I can decide to now crop out the top part here. So can you see? So I can increase the size. Good. Good. And just stay with something like this. So can you see it now? Good. So I've actually clip masked it into here. I can now replace it here and make sure it's perfect with what we have here. So can you see? You can easily zoom in to make sure that what you are doing is perfect. Do you get it now? Always what? Zoom in so that you can see what you are doing. Do you get it now? Good. So can you see now? I still have to adjust this. Good. Needs to make sure is what is perfect. So can you see now? Just zoom in. Okay. So can you see now? Can you see what we have? Good. It means we still need to adjust it to this area a bit. So can you see what we have now? So can you see now? So I've been able to what? To clip mask that particular design into the what? Into this space now. Do you get it now? So it's as simple as what? As that. Okay, it's as simple as that. Good. So just look at it and look at this area also. You have to make sure it's what is perfect. Good. So so can you see now? So it's as simple as that. So I've been able to what to max this now. I can now ungroup this. I can unlock it now and just group it together. Good. So I'll group. Remember, I told you I have a meta schedule board I want to create. So and that's the reason why I'm doing this now. So this one now is going to serve as my what? As my vocal point for the design. So we have this now and it's going to stay here. It's going to stay here. Do you get it now? Good. So I can start importing my text now and adjust it. I can start importing my words, my text. And what's the first core message now? YouTube for content creators. Okay. So the short cut for text two is what? Is T. So I'll just press T. So can you see now? Then I'll increase my size. I'll come to character panel here. Okay. So I want to use Aleron. I'll use Aleron and bold. I'll use Aleron and bold. Okay. So I'll increase the size to 40. 40. So I can decide to just break it down. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll just break it down. I'll break it down into like, I think two will be okay. So I'll delete this four and just replace it with numbers. So I can decide to increase. So I'm just trying to create something exciting here now. And okay, so let's just have the test for now. Let's have the test for now. We're going to make modifications to the test. So YouTube, YouTube for what? For content creators. That's the main message. Let me delete this. So YouTube YouTube for content creators. Okay, so we have these now. I'm going to increase the size to just fit in here. Okay, so can you see basically what we have here now? Then what's the next message here? In this training, during the training, you will learn what these and these. So we can now have these as the sub message under. Okay, so I just press the control V to paste that what. So I'm going to draw another margin line here so that all my text here won't exceed what this area. Do you get it now? I will adjust my image later. So all my text will not exceed this what. And remember hierarchy. Remember hierarchy also hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy. So during this train program, you will learn what? You will learn the following. So let's copy the following they are going to learn, which is this. And for this now, I need to create a shape that will contain, I need to create a text box area for this. Because if I paste it, let me paste it now. Can you see what I have here? And if I decide to increase the size, remember it has a deleted this area, and I don't, if I'm going to even increase the size, I don't want to exceed this area. So that's the reason why I'm going to create a what? A text box. Do you get my point? And how do I create a text box? I'm going to draw a rectangle shape, then I'll click on my text box area here. Good. Then paste. So can you see now I can now reduce the size to 15. 15. So, and I can decide to create, not I will decide, I will get to create a what? A bullet point here. And how do I create a bullet point? I can just easily use this. Then I can, so to text, I want to create a bulletin point area now. But before we do that, let's just paste all the necessary informations we need to paste. So I'm going back to text. So we have date and time. So we have date and what? And time. So we have date and time. Then I'm going to paste the date and time. Good. Then the next thing is our call to action. So we're going to do that later. So basically what we have here, let's arrange it and give it a feel so that we can know we're not just pasting a text, we are creating a masterpiece out of this. Do you get it now? So I'm going to unlock what I've actually locked here. Good. Now adjust it to this area. Good. So I have these now. I have these. So I'm going to delete this 4. So let me break it down. Do we have it? Okay, let's have it like this. So I'm going to break this 4. I'm going to delete it. Then I will increase the value of my YouTube to 65. 70 will be okay. Good. 70. Then I'm going to just create this. Let's have this. I'll rotate it. Good. Rotate it and just paste it here. Reduce the size. Okay. So just watch me closely and see what I'm going to do. Good. So we have this. Then we're going to have a 4. So instead of having the 4 in normal, so we're going to replace it with digits. Okay, just to create something exciting there. So, and there is something you need to make sure you have a vocal point in your design that will make, so even if they are going to forget the whole of the design, they won't forget that particular one. Okay, you need to have something that even though they forget every other thing in that design, they are not going to forget that particular thing. Do you get my point? And that's where your image or the little modifications you make to test can come into place. Do you get it now? So the little modification you make to test can what? Can do the job perfectly there. Do you get it now? So we are going to have this. Let's lock this so that it won't disturb what we're doing. Then I'm going to move these up. I'm going to move these up and even reduce the size a bit. Good. So what's the size of this one now? we need to work with proportion here just to create hierarchy. So let's just add 50 here. Good. 50. Then we can see that the space is okay. And if you notice that this 4 is not going to work, so I can decide to reduce this 4. Okay. I can decide to reduce this and this. Good. Let me increase it a bit. I just place it here. Good. So I'll reduce my 4 now. What's the size? 45. So I'll reduce it to 35. Then give it heavy fill. Okay. So I can increase it to 40. Good. So 40 will be okay. Then I have what? I have this. So can you see now? YouTube for what? YouTube for content creators. I can move this here. Okay. I can still reduce this size so that it won't exceed this area. So let's give it 40, 48. Good. So you stay okay this way now. Then for the sake of proportion, this one is 48. Why this one is what? It's 64. So let's reduce this to 58. Good. So 58. And we can now move this close here and just have it like this. Do you get it now? And just have it like this. Remember, we don't have a single way of creating a word of design. So I'm just following what I have on my head as a mental, as a what? As a mental sketch. So I'm going to have this here. Good. So we're going to have this at the sub message. At the what? At the sub message. So we're going to have this. I'll reduce the size here. Good. So can you see what I'm creating now? Good. I have the date and time. I'm going to move this away. Good. So I'm going to change the size of this now. Okay, the style. I'm going to change it from bold to so to regular. Let's just change it to regular. Then I'm going to click on Shift T, Shift plus T. Okay, Control Shift T. I want to create a tab area. Control plus what? Plus Shift. So here now is going to serve as my tab area because I want to create a bulletin point here. So that's the reason why I'm creating a what? A tab area. So with this now, when I press on tab, can you see now? It's going to serve at that particular what point. So now I'm going to have this as my what? As my bullet then. Okay. So I think I still need to adjust my tab. So this is my tab, right? Let's just drop it around there. Good. Let it work with what we have here. So I'm going to use this, then press my what? My tab. So can you see now? It's still okay here. Then here also. Okay. So we have these also. Okay. So don't worry, I'm still going to adjust the other part. You get it now? Good. So we have this. Good. So basically this is what we have now. Then we can now adjust this. We can now adjust the what? This. So let's increase the size to the size of this is what is 20. So we can leave this as 15. We can leave this as 15. So let's have this as 20, 20 or even 22. Let's have it as 20. 20. Then remember, I just want to use a font style here. I'm just just to show you the possibility of using a what one font style to one font throughout your what your design. So I'm going to rely on one font here. Do you get it now? For this particular design, I'm going to focus on only one font. Then I'm going to be creating hierarchy with the different styles where so semi bold. So 20 is still okay. Then this one will be what? 15. 15. Then I'm going to space it out. I'm going to space it out. And you see what I did? I press on my hot, then the drop down arrow here on my keyboard down. So with that, I'm able to what? To create more what? More tracking, leading rather. Okay, I've explained how this works for you. You get it now? So can you see now? So now let's just break this down. Shareable to this. Okay. So can you see now? So during this training, you will learn what? How to create and optimize your YouTube channel, strategies for creating engaging and shareable video content, best practices for promoting your videos and growing your audience, tips for monetizing, and then we have what? Question and answer section. So now what's the next most important thing? Our next most important thing is what? Date and time. So I'm going to be creating the hierarchy with date and time also. I'm going to set this to Aleron also. Then we'll be using 20. We'll be using 18. 18. Yeah, let's use 18. Okay. So do you know why I'm using 18? I don't want to use 20. I need to create a difference between this and this. Do you get it now? So here is going to serve as our what? As our main message. So here needs to be the what? The biggest size. So it's going to cover this area now. I'm going to unlock this. Good. And just have it here. So can you see now? Basically, I can still decide to increase this area self and increase the size of my what? Of my text here to either 16 or 18. Let's look at 16. Good. So 16 is still okay. So 16. This one is 20. Why this is 16? So here is going to be 18. And another way to create hierarchy, okay, and contrast is by using color, and we're going to use that for this design. Do you get it now? So just watch me closely now. So I'm going to change the style of this to what? To bold. Why I will have this in what? In semi bold. I'll have this in semi bold. So I don't want to have this Wednesday there. So I'm going to delete it. Then I'm only going to include the starting time. I don't want to I don't want to include the closing time. So I'm going to just put only the what? Only the starting time. Or let's just leave it. Since the hours exactly how we have it in the what? In the brief. So let's leave it that way. I'm going to indicate the Wednesday here. Okay. Then we're going to leave this also. Semi what? Semi bold. Then we have these as what? As bold. Do you get it now? Good. So here is semi bold and here is what? Is bold. Do you get it now? So we'll be creating one hierarchy with what? So basically, we are having this, and it's going to turn out now when we begin to add what? Add color. So now we want to have our call to action. I can easily create a rectangle to do that, just to create more hierarchy there. Then I'm going to have a curve what? A curve rectangle. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to have. So what's the so to register, please visit our what? Our website. So that's what I'm going to have as the call to action. So I'm going to have my test box now. Let me just press Ctrl V. Okay. So the Ctrl V has actually pasted the what? The content. So can you see now? I'll change this to white first, pending the time we fill it with what? With color. So remember, come to your text character, change it to what? Aileron. Then we're going to have it as 16 so that it won't take the same space with what? With this. So, and we're going to have it as bold or semi bold is okay. Then we'll reduce this. We'll reduce what? This to fit in here. So, to register, please visit our website. So, what's going to be our website now? www.johnny.com slash YouTube training. Okay, YouTube training. So this is going to be the website to register. And then we're going to reduce the size to 15 or 14. Let's give it 14. Then we're going to have a semi. We're going to have. We're going to have just regular here. Let's give it a boot. Let's give it semi boot also since we have actually reduced the size. So can you see what we have here now? Good. So we can decide to reduce this to fit in just to this area. So what do we have here now? We have 13. So let's reduce it to 13. Okay, let's just have these now. So this is our call to action, and I can decide to even bring it down and decide to break it down here so that we won't have a lot of empty spaces here. So we can have this and even decide to increase the size of everything we have here now. So by just increasing it here, do you get my point? Good. So do you get it now? I can decide to reduce this. Okay, so I need to lock this. Okay, I must create a little space around there so that they won't be what? Be affecting my, so they won't be affecting my what? My image. So I can just reduce this to be what? To be here. So can you see now? Good. And I can even move it up a bit. Okay, good. So now for this area, by not leaving this area alone like this, I can even decide to rotate this smartphone. I can decide to rotate this smartphone a bit so that it won't just have that. Um, that's one. Okay, I don't want to rotate it that way, so let's just leave it like this. So let's leave it like this, and I can decide to increase the size so that I can make the image of the phone more vocal. Good. So can you see what I have now? So basically, remember I said I don't want everything I have here. I don't want it to exceed this what? This line. Okay? And it can actually exceed it, but just a little so that it won't affect my what? My image. So let's reduce this and we'll now check the final sizes of how we have it. So stay nice this way now. So we have our YouTube as what? Good. 58. We have this as 48. Good. We have this as 19.8 and we can easily approximate it to 20. Then we have this as 15.8 also. You can see. So when I increase it together, they still maintain what? The same proportion. So I still need to work on this. Okay. Just hold on. Let me move this away and work with this. Okay. Good. So zoom in. So I'm taking my time to explain so that you can see my what, my working process, how I get to the to decide on what I will conclude on in my design. So basically, we have this text in black and white now. All we need to do is to fill it with color and bring it to life. So I can decide to even have something here, just to have some more color here. Good. Let's just have something here. So instead of leaving that place open, and just stretch it and still have something here. Okay. So I can decide to even move it together. Good. So look at it now. We are going to be working with this color palette now. Okay, and this color palette was generated from what? Colorscheme.com. So I generated this color palette from colorscheme.com. So I will also have a lot of websites like that for generating what color palette. So now let's proceed with what we are doing. So basically, can you see now we have all our text, including the what? The CTA. All we need to do now is just to fill it with color and bring the design to life. Do you get it now? So remember, all the color we are going to be using here will be related to what we have in the image. Just looking at this image now, what are the colors you can actually see here? You can see red, and red is actually vital for YouTube, except you have other brand, except you have your own personal brand color as the organizer of the training. So looking at this image, we have red and we have a blue, so and that's what I will be working with what we have there, because there must be a correlation with the color you are using with your design and the focal point of your design. And in this case, this image is the focal point of this design, so there must be a correlation with the color we are going to be using and the what and the image. So always take note of that. Now I'm going to use my eyedropper to this, and the short key is I. The short key is what? I. Then I'll fill it with this color, with this red. Okay, so I'll duplicate it I'll duplicate it and just have it here. Yes, I just want to have something here. Then I'll give it this blue. Remember, I said I want to work with this blue, yet I can still play around with all the other colors I have here. So I'll send this to the back. So basically, I have something like this. Let's see if this is going to work better. Okay, then let's leave it to this. And instead of this blue, let's have this. Okay, and you can easily come to your color guide area here. Okay, to see a color that is going to, can you see, come to your color panel here, then come to color guide. Can you see color guide? Good. It means that we have some other colors that you can easily pair with red here, and one of it is blue. Okay, one of it is blue, and you can see that the blue is the color palette we have here. So another one is this. These are the harmony rules, and you can also make use of any of the shade and tint of the colors we have here. Do you get it now? So I can decide to use this. Good. So these are some of the colors. So if you don't know how to combine colors and you need to use the color for your design, just look for one color you like, then make use of your what color guide area to select the other colors that you're going to be using. Okay. So now this is what we have. But here now it's creating like a 3D shape here, and I don't want something like that. I just want to have, okay. So let's just leave it like this. So I just want to have something like this. Okay, let me bring this one out down a bit. Good. And I can decide to rotate it to fit. Good. Just to fill that area. Okay, so let me just bring it like this now. Good. Rotate it. So always take your time to make your what to make your project perfect. There's no way you're rushing to, and design is not meant to be rushed. I meant to do the right thing so that the output will be what will be nice. So I can just have something like this here, okay, and even reduce the size here. And reduce the size and move it up, okay, because I need to what to create a breathing space for my design also. So can you see now? Good. So this area is nice now, and I can give this area red, this red. Good. Then to create a contrast here, I can give this the blue. Good. Then we have what the four as white, so it stay nice. So and I can decide to do a little more editing to the what, but yet I want to have it this way. So I'm going to have this as the blue also. Good. Then I'm going to give it a bold feel. Okay, let's shorten what we have there. Let's shorten it to during the webinar. Let's just write during the webinar here. During the webinar. Okay, let's just write during the webinar. Okay, instead of using a training program, we can use, let's just use webinar. So during the training webinar, and let's give this 20. Good. And give it a bold feel also. A bold what feel. Do you get it now? Good. You get it now? So you can just move everything down a bit also. Good. And remember, you have to group when you're working with a design like this, you have to group related element. Do you get my point now? So this stand on its own, useful for content creator, and next we have this. So this is actually associated with what during the webinars. So now we now have our what our date and time, which they are still what related items, right? Then after that, you can now have your what your CTA. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? Good. So we can decide to leave this as black and just give it as regular fill. Then we can increase the size to, we have 15.8, so let's put it to 16. So you can see that I keep on having changes in what in the sizes, just to make sure that everything is perfect. Do you get it now? So there is no a one size fit all rules for design. So you just have to keep on what doing it till you have a perfect what something. Do you get it now? So this is what I have here now. And I can even decide to spread this across there, but yet it's not moving nice. So let's just increase it a bit to cover this space. Good. So I'm working with this point now. So can you see? I have that area covered. Then I have this. Do you get it now? I have this. Then this is going to serve as black. Then here also to create. So I'm going to be using my what? My red color for here. So I'm going to use my color picker to select color for all these. But yes, I'm going to be highlighting my normal text and change the color back to black. Okay, so I want to have it as black. So I'm going to change it to black. While having this one as what? As red. You get it now? So remember, I have just a plain background. So I have just a what? A plain background. So that give me access to do what? To modify my. So I can decide to have this as blue or the red. So let's have it as the red to create a more focal point there. Good. Then we can now have these as what? As the blue. Get it now. So I'm just trying to approach. I'm just what's the English word I should use now? Just suggest one for me. Okay. So let's just have some fun. So I'm just trying to have a standard proportion for the use of my color here. Do you get it now? So I can now decide to have something here also. I can decide to have a color under here, probably blue or red. Let's just have red. Let's have red. Okay. So let's have red and send it to the back just to occupy this what? This area. So now basically I have these now and I still have a lot of what? So can you see now? Can you see what we have? So basically we have been able to create just a simple what? A simple training design. So I can decide to group all things and so I can move this one down, move it. Okay. So can you see now? So can you see what we have now? So I can keep on giving it a little more modification. So I can decide to even have this as red. Okay, I can decide to have it as red, but yet I don't also have a lot of red here. So I'm going to rely on these now. Do you get it now? Good. So now let's just do something with this text here. So I can decide to give it an effect if I wish. Okay, and the effect I'm going to give it is just a what? A sterilized effect. Let's just give it a glowing edges. So I don't want to leave my design like that. So let's just give it some little feel of something. Okay, so let's give it a flame what? Green. A flame green. Okay, so if you zoom in, you're going to see it there. You're going to see the feel there. So can you see now? Good. You get it now. So instead of leaving as a plain text now, with the use of effects, okay, I click on this, I click on effect, then I apply what? Film grain effect by coming to this sterilize options and clicking on what? Glowing edges. Okay, I click on glowing edges and I click on what? Artistic. Then I click on flame grain. We have a lot of other ones here. Do you get it now? But yet I feel like using film grain and that's what I'm going to use. Do you get it now? So we have these now. And remember, there's no simple approach to what? To design. So another designer can still work with the same content, with the same brief and creating what? Something else. So why I'm teaching you the practical aspect, then I just need to explain the most important things to you also. Do you get it now? So remember, there's no one approach to what? To design. So now this is what we have. This is basically the simplest form of what we have. And looking at this design now, we have make use of our pen tool, we make use of our clipping masking tool. Okay, we work with what we have to create this simple what? Design. So now, for the sake of exporting, we have some other element outside this. So we can just decide to create a rectangle shape that will cover this space and clip mask all our what? All our design. Do you get it now? So we can just clip mask. Good. We have this. Then highlight everything that you have. Highlight everything that you have and clip what? Make a clip mask. So this is our now this is our what? This is our design. Do you get it now? This is what we have. You get it now? So this is what we have for today. Do you get it now? So, and last thing before I end this video, remember to always what? Always embed your image. Remember to always embed your image. So come to what? Windows, come to link, click on link. Then you can see all the images I use now. Then I'm going to highlight on everything. Come here, then embed what? Images. So if I share what's the function of the embedding images, you know the function by now. So see you in the next video.